Hello and thanks for joining us today on Playing the Field Local Edition. I'm Maria Serrao. Well, as you can see, we are here today on the baseball field at Palos Verdes High School. And today on the show, you will meet the boys varsity team. We're going to do this in two parts. So show one will start now, and then you'll meet the rest of the team in show two. So let's get started. This has definitely been a year of learning the last couple of years. When you look back, what do you think that you learned the most and the guys learned the most?
Well, I don't know if it's what I learned the most, but it just re-emphasized that the kids are resilient. You know, they're able to overcome just about anything you throw their way, and they're usually better at handling things than adults are. And then, you know, they pick up the other cues from us, right? And however we present it is how they react to it, but they're usually pretty good about telling you what's a big deal and what isn't. And for them, I think the biggest thing I've noticed from them, besides the fact that they had to mature so quickly, is that they seem more grateful for the opportunity. They know that at any given minute it can be taken away again. Like for us last year, after getting shut down in 2020, we had to get shut down for 10 days in the middle of the season, and it was just, you know, another reminder that at any given moment it can be all taken away.
Very true. Tell me a little bit about your team this year.
Team is we got a lot of returners. First time in a long time that I've been able to say that. A lot of talented guys, good kids, great senior class. It's just of kids, that likable kids that you want to be around. Strong defense, strong on the bump, and you know, the bats are good as well.
You did really well last year as well.
Yeah, we had a nice run last year. It was like I said, everything's been weird the last few years, but we had a great start to our season, and then got shut down, came back, and it was kind of, you know, one game we were on, one game we were off. It just took a little bit to get back in rhythm, and then once the playoffs started, just kind of grinded through it and found a way to keep advancing and put a nice little run together.
Okay, and then, you know, it's interesting. I always ask them, you know, how they balance the school time with the baseball time.
Yeah.
And it seems like everybody is super supportive of both.
Absolutely, and we talk about that as a group, but there's so much being thrown at these guys. It's you know, a lot of them are taking AP classes and honors classes, so they have a ton of homework. Out here, it's baseball, which, you know, we try to keep the practices short, but even then it takes, you know, 25 minutes or so to get the field set up. We got the bases, we got watering, we got the dirt, and same thing after practice, which those things add up. And people, it's a long practice, and honestly, the actual practice isn't too long. It's just the before and the after, and we have one field that we share with 3 teams. So during the season, it's not too bad because other teams, the lower levels, will be playing or will be playing or whatever, but it's hard to get everyone what they need to get done. And then on top of that, a lot of guys are doing their own stuff in the weight room and working out, and you know, trying to do some of the mental stuff and the yoga and the meditation and all that. And it's, for teenagers, it's pretty amazing how much they put on their plate and try to balance it and find a way to get it done.
What's a message that you always want them to remember?
Just have fun, man. Have fun, do things right. They know right from wrong. We talk about that quite a bit as well. Hey, it's the right thing, the wrong thing to do. We don't have a lot of rules. We have standards, and is this something that we're going to allow happening or expect to happen, or is this something that's not up to our standard? And then understanding that, you know, it's not a punishment or anything. It's just, hey, it's an accountability, and I'll point it out when we're not there, and I will point it out when we are exceeding those expectations. So those kind of things.
A lot of the student athletes also told me that, you know, their practice time is really valuable, and they appreciate the fact that the practices are harder, you know, because they're not wasting their time.
Yeah, so that's good. That's good to hear. We try to get them in, try to work hard, and try to get them out. And we don't have a designated time for conditioning or anything. We try to get it done during practice. If they're hustling from station to station or drill to drill, or even in the actual drills, they should get their conditioning in that way.
Tell me how long you've been playing baseball and why you chose it for your sport.
I've been playing baseball as long as I can remember, and I chose it just because my dad liked it and he introduced it to me at a young age, and I've always liked it.
Did you ever try any other sports?
I currently play football.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
How do you sort of balance the two?
It's hard, but it's also nice because once football season ends, I'm super excited for baseball, and at the end of baseball season, I'm super excited for football.
So because you play two sports, what do you think you learned playing football that helps you on the baseball field?
I think you learn a lot. It just helps you be well-rounded and be a leader, and also a lot of skills you learn athletically in football, they can also translate to baseball.
Because you're a year-round athlete, how do you sort of balance the school time with the athletics?
I don't know. I figure it out. Find a way.
What do you do for fun when you're not playing sports?
Play more sports.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you play video games or?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. So just play more sports. The last year or 2 years actually have obviously been difficult. What do you think you kind of learned through that experience?
I think there's a lot to learn. I feel like you definitely had to find how to find the goodness in all the bad. I think there's a lot of good here, especially, so it makes it easy.
That's good. Is there any messages that the coach always wants you guys to remember?
He always preaches about how it's not what you do when you're doing good, it's what you do when you're doing bad that shows who you are.
I've been playing baseball since I was 6 years old. I tried out a ton of other sports and I just fell in love with baseball. So.
Did you ever play any other sports? Or?
Yeah, I played basketball, I played soccer, and I played football throughout elementary school and middle school, but baseball was just always a favorite.
What do you think it was about baseball that made you want to stick with it?
Just all my friends playing it and falling in love with the game, that's really it.
What position do you play?
I'm a catcher.
So have you always been a catcher or have you moved around a little bit?
No, I actually started playing baseball in the outfield, and then once I got to high school, I transitioned into catching.
What do you think is the most important thing that you have to learn over time to get better as a catcher?
Just really controlling the game, playing with the team. You're kind of the quarterback back there, so it's important to make sure everyone knows what they're doing every single play.
Okay. And how do you sort of balance the school time with the baseball time?
Yeah, so we have block schedule, so 2-3 classes every day. Have a little bit of break for lunch and then baseball. And once you get home, you just have to be on top of all your homework, all your schoolwork.
Because you've played for so long, what do you sort of work on from season to season to get a little better in your own game?
Getting stronger in the weight room, gaining weight, and then really just refining the little things.
Okay. What's the season been like this year so far?
It's been amazing. It's been absolutely awesome. I've had a great time this year.
That's awesome.
Yep.
You guys had a rough couple of years. What do you think you learned the most from that?
I think we just learned that we need to come together as an entire program. Everyone needs to help each other out and pick each other up, and we've done a great job of it this year, and I think that that's why we're succeeding a little more.
I've been playing baseball since I was 4. I've just kind of always had more fun playing this than any of the other sports. I like more the team interaction and being able to pick everyone up the entire time. So that's just always been more fun to me.
Did you ever try any other sports? Or?
Yeah, I played football and basketball my entire time during middle school, and I played football freshman year. But then I decided I'd just go full-time baseball because I enjoyed that the most out of the 3 sports.
You talked about picking other teammates up. Where do you think that came from?
Just when you are down or something bad happens to you, or you're not feeling it, when other teammates pick you up, you always try to do the same for them and make sure they're not alone and just try to keep the team morale high.
Okay, you're a pitcher, is that right?
Yes.
Have you always pitched or did you move around a lot over the years?
I've played multiple positions, but during high school, I've always just kind of prioritized being a pitcher because when I could focus on just one thing instead of trying to focus on a bunch of different things, I feel like it suits me better.
Okay, and how do you sort of balance the school time with the baseball time?
It's hard because a lot of the practices, especially during the season right now when we have practices going pretty long, but it's what you sign up for when you do that. So
that's very true.
Yeah.
Okay, and what is the message that the coach always wants you guys to remember?
Just no matter what happens through the games, just always remember to have fun and enjoy. Like, this is my last year, so just always enjoy it throughout the entire process.
you have lived through a very unusual time the last couple of years. What do you think you learned the most?
I'm thankful to just be here playing right now because the sophomore year, obviously out of nowhere, the season ended, and I'm thankful that I wasn't a senior where that would be my last year or spent the last year online. So yeah, I'm pretty grateful for it.
I've been playing baseball forever, and I chose it because I love it, and it's a great competition.
Did you ever try any other sports?
Yes, but I wasn't very good at any of them.
Which ones did you try?
All of them.
What do you think it was about baseball that made you want to stick with it?
It's very challenging, and that was intriguing.
Okay, you are a pitcher and an outfielder, is that right?
Yes.
As you get older and go through the process, do you try every position? How does it work?
I've just kind of narrowed it down now, but growing up, definitely tried all the positions.
Because you played for so long, what do you specifically work on from season to season to get a little better?
Just work on becoming the best version of myself.
Any particular little things you work on, footwork or?
Everything.
All
that good stuff.
Okay. How do you sort of balance the school time with the baseball time?
Just difficult, but try to prioritize baseball and school. School gets done.
Okay. And what do you like to do away from baseball?
Spend time with friends and family.
Okay. And what's the message that the coach always wants you to remember?
It's more than a game, for sure.
Very true. You guys have been through a lot in the last couple of years. What do you think you kind of learned the most coming through that?
That everything can be taken away anytime, and to be good people is more important than the team.
I've been playing baseball since I was about 5, and I chose it because it was kind of the sport that I was probably the best at.
Okay.
But I used to play other sports, but
Well, that was my next question
baseball.
is what other sports did you try?
I played football, soccer, and a little bit of basketball.
What do you think that you liked better about baseball than the rest of the sports?
I think it was kind of that's more of a team game that you can't really just rely on that one guy like the whole time, when other sports there can always be that one guy that helps a lot.
Okay. Because you've been playing for so long, what do you sort of work on from season to season to get a little better?
I would say the main thing now is to get stronger. That's
Okay.
kind of like a big part. But you always have to run hitting and all the other stuff.
So do you do weightlifting, running?
Yeah.
Okay. You're an infielder and a pitcher, right?
Yeah.
Over the years, have you sort of moved around and settled in, or how does that work?
Well, I've always played shortstop really. Then in Little League, I kind of played a little bit of third. But yeah, so I haven't really played outfield at all.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah.
Would you ever want to?
Maybe sometimes, but I don't know.
You got the infield down now,
Yeah.
so. All right, how do you sort of balance the school time with the baseball time?
Well, it's hard sometimes, but like especially this year, I haven't really had that much homework to be honest.
Good.
But so I've kind of it's been pretty easy this year.
It's good. All right, you guys have been through a lot in the last 2 years. What do you think you've learned the most through that?
I would say that we have to play as a team, because like there's been times where we've had like people out with COVID or whatever, but then we really have to come together as a team to reach the point we want to reach.
I've been playing baseball since I was probably 5 or 6. I mean, I started in t-ball. I think it was just because my parents put me in every sport when I was young.
And
And I just-
what other sports did you try?
I played football and soccer growing up.
What do you think it was about baseball that made you want to stick with it the most?
I think I was just always better at baseball than I was at other sports, and that just made me fall in love with it.
Okay, because you've been playing for so long, what do you sort of work on from season to season to get a little better?
Definitely always getting stronger, in the weight room, multiple days a week. Obviously working on like the tools too, hitting and throwing, but definitely getting stronger in the weight room.
All right, so you are a pitcher and an infielder, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, as a pitcher, obviously you have to have different skills. Do you do a lot of running? What is your biggest thing for that?
I have recently started doing cardio. Coach Steve has really preached doing cardio, so I've started doing that recently. Yeah.
Okay, how do you sort of balance the school time with the baseball time?
It's not that tough. Usually we get out of here pretty early, so I mean, never more than a couple hours of homework, so
Okay.
it's not too hard to balance.
Okay, and the last 2 years have been quite an experience for all of you guys.
Definitely.
What do you think you learned the most through that?
I think we've learned like how to come together as a team. Everyone's going through their own thing, but we can all we all have baseball. We bond over that.
Well, I've been playing baseball ever since I was a young child. My parents put me onto the sport, and it's been a very nice experience for me.
Did you
I've
ever
loved
try
it.
any other sports or?
I have been in a soccer camp before, but I instantly didn't like it.
What do you think it is about baseball that made you want to stick with that?
Probably because my family, my dad played it, so I kind of played along with the legacy. You know what I'm saying?
How do you sort of balance the school time with the baseball time?
Well, you definitely have to use your time wisely. Prioritize something over something and work with what you got.
What position do you play?
Second base?
So have you always played in the infield or have you moved around a lot?
Mainly only the infield. I've always been a middle infielder.
What do you think the biggest challenge is playing second?
Biggest challenge? Lots of reps, lots of key situations you'll be in. It's a very important position, I feel like, in the field.
Okay. And what's a message that the coach always wants you guys to remember?
Play hard. That's one of them. Definitely, yeah, that's all I can think of right now.
And then the last 2 years have been obviously challenging. What do you think that you've learned the most kind of getting through that?
Over the last few years, I've learned to stay together with my team, build team chemistry, and that'll transfer into the games.
I've been playing baseball since I was 3 years old. My dad got me into it. He played as well, and it's just been a lifelong passion.
Did you ever try any other sports?
Yeah, growing up, soccer, football, basketball, I tried all the sports, but I just like baseball the best.
What do you think it was about baseball that made you want to stick with it?
Probably because my dad played it, and he really just got me into it, but yeah, and then just the passion grew from there.
Because you've been playing for so long, what do you work on from season to season to get a little better?
Well, I feel like there's always things to work on because I'm not perfect as a player. And, like this off season, I needed to get a little bit stronger. So really working in the weight room and fine tuning my mechanics is something that I've been working on.
You play in the outfield, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
How long does it take you to get used to how big and expansive the outfield is?
I'd say just reps. Getting reps in every single day, especially, playing out here in our outfield. During batting practice, taking live reads is really important. And really just getting a feel. And we make practices very hard, so the games are easy.
Very interesting. How do you sort of balance the baseball time with the school time?
It's interesting. I think I've been doing it because I've been doing it my whole life. It's just something that's come natural, but you really have to make time for both, and then, less time for other like video games or, stuff like that.
I asked everybody, the last 2 years have obviously been challenging. You moved here from somewhere different, but what do you think you sort of learned the most through that time?
I think that I just learned a lot about, sticking with your family and how important that is. Having people around you that love and support you, and sticking together and getting through something like that, I think made me stronger at the end of it. So I think that was it was an overall positive experience, especially moving.
I've been playing baseball since like 4 or 5 years old, and that was like in Washington. I just always been in love with this sport, I guess, and it's a cool team sport for sure.
Did you ever play any other sports? Or?
I played football and soccer, but I stuck with baseball right when I went into high school.
What do you think it was about baseball that made you want to stick with it?
Just the teammates and like the chemistry that this team has is actually really good.
Okay, how do you sort of balance the baseball time with the school time?
Our coach is really good at like helping us out with that, and then we also have the block schedule, so that's really helpful, and we're always down here like doing something.
Because you've been playing for so long, what do you tend to work on from season to season to get a little better?
It's just little things, honestly. Like there's always something better that we can do, and Mo is always telling us to do something. So yeah.
Okay, so right now you are infielder and pitcher, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, did you always play one position, or have you moved around a lot over the years?
I've moved a lot, yeah, definitely. We all were moving around a lot, like freshman, sophomore year, just trying to figure out where we best fit, I guess.
Did you like one position any more than the other, or?
No, not really. Everything is just fun.
Okay. And then, what's a message that the coach always wants you guys to remember?
I guess like it's not about like what you're doing when you win. It's about like how you look when you fail, like how you react to it.
Okay, and obviously the last couple of years have been quite challenging for everybody. What do you think you learned the most from that time?
I don't know. We have really good chemistry as a team and friendships, I guess.
Since I can remember, just earliest memories of me playing baseball with my brothers, and I chose it since my dad always played baseball and my brothers played baseball growing up, so I kind of just followed in their footsteps.
Did you ever try any other sports?
I played basketball and soccer, but I was always small, so basketball really wasn't for me, and then I just fell in love with baseball.
What do you think it is about the game of baseball that made you want to stick with it?
Just like the team aspect, you're always with a group of guys, and that's just really stuck with me.
Okay, because you've been playing for so long, what do you tend to work on from season to season to get a little better?
Definitely my hitting, probably. You know, the pitching always gets harder and harder, so you have to adapt to that.
Very good. You're a pitcher and an infielder, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, and so did you always play one position or have you moved around a lot?
When I was younger, I was moved around trying to figure out what I liked best, and I kind of just stuck with infield and pitching.
Okay, and what's the message that the coach always wants you guys to remember?
You know, he says everyone play a role. Since we have only 9 people can play, but we have so many guys on the team that everyone has a different role that they have to play as best as they can, since not everyone can be on the field.
Okay, that's good advice. The last 2 years have obviously been challenging. What do you think you learned the most during that time?
Kind of just resilience, you know. It was tough times for everyone. You just have to push through it and make the best of it.
I've been playing baseball for about 13 years, so it's been a long time, and my parents got me involved with it at an early age, and yeah, it's just been a really fun sport.
Did you ever play any other sports or?
Yeah, I played soccer and basketball. I played soccer for a while because I went to Europe every summer to play. I don't know, I'm Croatian, so I went to Croatia every summer, and it was really fun. They all play soccer there, so.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
It's so much bigger worldwide.
Yeah.
What do you think you learned the most from soccer that actually helped you play baseball?
Running's important. I haven't really picked up a lot of running since I abandoned soccer, but yeah, definitely running. Running's important.
Okay, and let me see. What position do you play now?
I play outfield and I pitch.
Okay, and so because you've been playing for so long, what do you tend to work on from season to season to get a little better?
Definitely velocity, keeping the arm keeping the arm healthy as well, because you know a lot of people experience pain in the elbow or arm injuries, and you got to keep away from that. Running helps with that because it gets rid of all the lactic acid, but yeah, definitely throwing and a lot of hitting as well.
Okay, and how do you sort of balance the school time with the baseball time?
I mean, it's really helpful with the block schedule that we have, because I only have 3 classes a day, and I get out at 12, so it really helps with that. And Coach Mo's always here before practices, and we always get our work in beforehand.
Nice. Okay, and then the last 2 years have obviously been challenging. What do you think you sort of learned the most from that time?
Just patience, because a lot of times last year we had to take, I think, 2 weeks off because a couple kids got COVID from our team, and we just learned from that, and yeah, we just got after it on our own. We had our own practices, and it helps when people have equipment at their house as well to go to, so it was really helpful having that opportunity.
I've been playing baseball for 4 years now. I chose it, I was kind of basketball, soccer, and then just went out one day with a couple buddies, took some swings, and I decided to try out for the team here.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so what made you want to stick with it?
The success I found during it. I liked trying to throw the ball as hard as I could, and then when I figured out that I could control it and throw for a strike, I just decided to give it a try.
Yeah. Okay, and then what do you sort of work on from season to season to get a little better?
A lot of tee work, hitting, that's the big thing. We have some great pitching, so when you get the hitting going, that's when you start winning games, and that's what we've done this year.
When you first started playing, did you move around a lot in positions, or how did that work?
Yeah, I tried them all. I tried, I played third and pitcher, but I tried shortstop and then dabbled in center field a bit too.
Okay, the last 2 years have obviously been challenging. What do you think you learned the most from that?
I just got to know my teammates better, you know, figuring out their favorite foods. I don't know if you interviewed Jamie, but he's really into cooking, and he would always do like a cook sesh for everyone on Monday.
Nice.
And it was just a way to get to know everyone through the tough times because we didn't get to really see each other. Obviously masked up.
Yeah, exactly. It's so nice not to have that anymore.
For sure, it's definitely way better now.
What's the message the coach always wants you to take with you?
Big message this year was just stand on our guys. You know, we kind of let the game get in the way of, you know, what we're trying to do, and we get into the other players' dugouts kind of more than we should, so we just got to stay on our guys and cheer for what we're doing out there.
I've been playing, you know, since I'm 4 or 5, playing t-ball, and you know, it was what I was best at. I dabbled in soccer, basketball, and football, but you know, it's what I like the most, and it was what I was best at.
When you talk about being best at that, what do you think that you learned the most, maybe from other sports, that you realize I'm really much better at baseball?
Well, I mean, I wasn't very tall as a kid, so that kind of eliminates basketball, and I didn't like soccer as much, so. A lot of running. I don't like running, so.
Yeah, a lot of running.
Yeah.
Because you've been playing for so long, what do you tend to work on from season to season to get a little better?
You know, it's just really refining your skills, you know, all the little things, you can always get better at something. You know, we're never perfect, so just keep working.
Okay, and as a senior now, how are you sort of balancing the school time with the baseball time?
Well, I had a pretty front-loaded high school class load, so freshman year I had a lot of classes, so now I've had an easier senior year.
Okay, and the last 2 years have obviously been challenging. What do you think you learned the most from that time?
Really just quality time with the teammates, you know, because school was shut down, so you really had to like get out of the house, and it was with these guys that we hung out with, so just kill time. And
do you think your friendships got stronger during that time too?
Yeah,
or?
Definitely. Okay. Like Ryan said with Jamie cooking, it was just a great time.
Did you all learn how to cook, or?
Well, he's kind of the master, you know.
Okay,
so.
Yeah, you want to let him do it,
Yeah.
and you guys just enjoy it.
Exactly.
I got it. Okay.
I started playing baseball in probably early middle school, I think. I didn't play before. You know, I played soccer and basketball, and I liked to sail, so I did other stuff. You know, I loved being around the ocean, and then it all changed when I went to middle school. You know, all my buddies started playing baseball, and kind of picked it up and had a good time. So.
What do you think you like the most about it?
I just love like the team environment of the sport is just so fun. Putting the bat on the ball too, there's just no greater feeling than that. And I think I just like grew deep love for the game because my dad grew up right next to the Field of Dreams, so I've always had like a nice deep regard for the game. You know, it was pretty cool. So.
Did you ever go there?
Yeah, we've gone back a couple times since his parents live out there, so it's
What's
very
it
fun.
like?
It's just gorgeous. You know, just so much respect for the game out there. Just, you know, that's just where I found it within myself. So.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go there because it just looks so amazing.
It's beautiful.
I bet. Okay, how are you sort of balancing the school time with the baseball time?
You know, early on in my high school career, I was able to get a lot of classes out of the way. You know, that's the beautiful thing about block schedule. So the senior upperclassmen even has been just great for me. You know, with my classes, I've barely had any. So got all my classes done early, and now I get to kind of enjoy myself and focus on sports. So it's good.
Cruise. That's so nice. What do you work on from season to season to get a little better?
I'm always hitting. I'm always in the cage. You find me there every single day. I should probably do a little bit more on the field, you know, get a little bit refined there, but I'm always in the cage.
Okay, and what's the message the coach always wants you guys to remember?
The coaches just want us to remember to have fun, stay loose. You know, sometimes we get a little uptight and we get stressed out and everybody starts bickering with each other, but, you know, it's all because we care and we just, you know, we need to get loose and get back to the basics. So. Yeah.
Okay, and then obviously this last 2 years has been challenging, to say the least. What do you think you learned the most during that time?
Man, I've learned how to push through in these times. Like, especially personally, I've gone through a couple things like shoulder surgery and different stuff like that. So just like pushing through and really finding guys who you can fall back on that'll pick you up. There's nothing better than that.
And that will do it for part one of our baseball show here at Palos Verdes High School. Please stay tuned for part two. Until then, I'm Maria Serrao, and we'll see you next time.